For more than 50 years, humanity looked at the moon as a place from the past. A symbol of one incredible achievement. A distant world we visited, and then abandoned. But now, something extraordinary is happening. The world's most powerful space agencies and private companies are preparing for something far bigger than simply landing astronauts on the lunar surface again. This time, the goal is to stay. Right now, plans are already being developed for permanent lunar habitats, robotic construction systems, mining operations, lunar satellites, underground shelters, and even fuel production on the moon itself. What once sounded like science fiction, is rapidly becoming reality. And behind this new race to the moon lies something even bigger. Because the moon may not be the final destination. It may only be the beginning of humanity becoming an interplanetary civilization. Today, we explore the astonishing plans for humanity's first permanent base beyond Earth, the hidden challenges of surviving on the moon, the growing global competition to control the future of space, and why the lunar surface could become the launch pad for future missions to Mars. And by the end of this video, you may realize humanity is entering a brand new space age. If you enjoy deep space mysteries, future technology, and the hidden secrets of our universe, subscribe now to the Secrets of the Earth, because the future is arriving faster than most people realize. For decades after the Apollo missions ended, the moon became strangely silent. Humanity achieved one of the greatest accomplishments in history, and then never returned. But now, that silence is ending. Modern lunar missions are no longer focused on planting flags or proving symbolic victories. The goal today is far more ambitious. To build infrastructure. To establish permanent outposts. And eventually, to create humanity's first long-term settlement beyond Earth. Recent missions have already tested critical systems needed for deep space survival, including advanced spacecraft, navigation technologies, communication systems, and life support capabilities. But the next phase is dramatically more difficult. Because surviving on the moon is brutally dangerous. During lunar daytime, temperatures on the surface can rise above 250 degrees Fahrenheit. But during lunar night, temperatures can collapse to hundreds of degrees below zero. There is almost no atmosphere, no breathable air, no weather protection, and no shield from dangerous solar radiation. Astronauts living there would survive inside one of the most hostile environments humanity has ever attempted to inhabit. Yet despite all of this, the plans are already moving forward. Construction systems, robotic landers, autonomous rovers, and lunar communication satellites are all being developed as part of a much larger vision. Not just visiting the moon, but remaining there permanently. But behind the scientific excitement, another reality is unfolding. A new global space race. Multiple nations are now accelerating their lunar ambitions at the same time. And this race is no longer just about exploration. It's about influence, technology, resources, and the future control of space infrastructure. Several countries and international partners are already collaborating on upcoming lunar missions, bringing together technologies, scientific payloads, robotics, and navigation systems. This is becoming a truly global effort. At the same time, rival space programs are rapidly advancing their own lunar base concepts and long-term moon exploration strategies. And many experts believe the next decade could completely redefine humanity's relationship with space. But unlike the Cold War era, modern lunar exploration is not simply about reaching the moon first. This time, the real challenge is building sustainable infrastructure capable of supporting long-term human survival. Because landing astronauts on the moon for a few days is one thing. Building a functioning civilization there is something entirely different. One of the biggest questions people ask is simple. Why return to the moon at all? The answer changes everything. Because the moon may become humanity's training ground for the rest of the solar system. Scientists believe the lunar polar regions may contain frozen water trapped inside permanently shadowed craters. That discovery could be revolutionary. Because water means survival. It can provide drinking water, oxygen, and even rocket fuel. And that changes the economics of space travel completely. Instead of launching every resource from Earth, future missions may eventually harvest materials directly from the moon itself. This concept is known as in situ resource utilization. In simple terms, using local resources to survive in space. Future lunar systems may extract oxygen from lunar soil, harvest ice deposits, and even manufacture fuel directly on the moon's surface. That would allow spacecraft to refuel before continuing deeper into space. And suddenly, the moon transforms from a destination into a space highway. But creating a permanent lunar outpost will require technologies humanity has never fully tested before. The first lunar bases likely won't resemble giant futuristic cities from science fiction movies. Instead, experts believe they will begin as scattered systems spread across different regions of the moon. Small habitats, robotic landers, power stations, communication satellites, autonomous rovers, and eventually, interconnected infrastructure. Some lunar regions receive nearly constant sunlight, making them ideal for solar power generation. Other regions may contain valuable ice deposits hidden deep inside shadowed craters. Different locations offer different advantages, which means future lunar operations could spread across multiple areas of the moon simultaneously. And the engineering challenges are enormous. Future missions may need to build roads, landing pads, radiation shielding, storage systems, and underground shelters capable of protecting astronauts from cosmic radiation and micrometeorites. Even lunar dust itself presents a major danger. The sharp particles can damage equipment, electronics, and even human lungs. Every aspect of lunar survival requires completely new solutions. But scientists believe these challenges are necessary if humanity hopes to eventually reach Mars. As exciting as the moon is, many experts believe it's only the first step, because Mars remains the ultimate goal. But reaching Mars safely is far more difficult than most people realize. A mission to Mars could take at least 6 months each way, and once astronauts arrive, there is no quick return home if something goes wrong. That's why scientists believe humanity must first learn how to survive long-term beyond Earth, much closer to home. The moon becomes the perfect testing ground, a place to develop life support systems, space habitats, resource extraction technologies, and deep space survival strategies before attempting much longer missions. And the moon offers another huge advantage. Its gravity is far weaker than Earth's. That means launching spacecraft from the lunar surface requires far less fuel. In the future, astronauts may one day travel to the moon first, gather supplies and fuel there, and then continue onward toward Mars, turning the moon into a massive interplanetary pit stop. For the first time in history, humanity is beginning to build the infrastructure needed to truly expand into the solar system. Perhaps the most fascinating part of all of this is that humanity may be witnessing the very beginning of a permanent human presence beyond Earth. Not temporary visits, not short missions, but the first real expansion of civilization into space. Future generations may look back at this period the same way we look back at the earliest explorers crossing oceans centuries ago. Because once humanity learns how to survive independently beyond Earth, everything changes. The moon could become a center for science, manufacturing, fuel production, deep space missions, and technological development unlike anything humanity has ever built before. And while political rivalries still exist, science continues to unite nations in remarkable ways. Even competing space programs often cooperate through research, shared discoveries, and scientific collaboration. Because beyond politics, space belongs to all humanity. For decades, the moon felt like humanity's forgotten frontier. A place we reached once, but never truly returned to. But now, the next chapter is beginning. Permanent lunar habitats, robotic construction systems, resource mining, fuel production, deep space infrastructure, and eventually, missions to Mars. What once seemed impossible is now being designed, tested, and prepared for reality. Humanity is no longer asking whether we can survive beyond Earth. We are beginning to ask how far we can go. And the answer to that question may start on the surface of the moon. If you enjoyed this exploration into the future of lunar bases and humanity's next giant leap into space, subscribe to The Secrets of the Earth for more documentaries about the universe, future technology, and the hidden mysteries of space. Because humanity's future may no longer belong only to Earth.